So in tonight's video, I'm going to be breaking down the new daily chart patterns that I'm seeing on the SPY. Once we set up that daily chart foundation, it's going to give us a better perspective on the new key levels of interest on where we're planning to trade at. With that being said, I'm going to be giving you the levels for call options so we can make money as the market's going up. And I'm going to be giving you the levels for put options so we can make money as the market's going down. Then we're going to be going into the 10-day, 30-minute chart, breaking down the new patterns and levels along with the daily chart stack. If you are serious about making money, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to be breaking down the trades that we ended up making today. In terms of G-Roar, he has been on an absolute vengeance these past 2 days, man. He ended up having many multiple 100% profit returns today. He absolutely crushed it. And in terms of Uncle Tio Keaton Win, he's been on a phenomenal win streak throughout the past month, man. He ended up calling out a 300% gainer on his first trade today on SPY put options. In terms of my own personal trading, I started the day off buying call options towards the exact lows using the 30-minute candlestick patterns that I've been teaching you at the gap reversal level. The SPY did end up having 2 short-term gap reversals today at those levels. The strategy is working non-stop. If you are getting at the right prices, using the right confirmations, setting those profit stops, selling into the moves, and getting stopped out for overall profit. With that being said, we did end up having a quick reversal at 570 gap. We also had a very nice reversal at the 568 lower oversold best gap. With that being said, I ended up buying calls towards the exact lows on my first trade for nearly a 100% profit return within less than 30 minutes. And then in terms of the next trades that I ended up making after that, I did end up going on a losing streak into that power hour trading session trying to buy call options. But I did not flip green to red because I managed my risk accordingly. And like I tell you guys all the time, if you have one good trade, you should be more than up enough to call it for the day. So if you choose to continue to trade for the rest of the day, you should risk 25 to 50% of your gains at the most. And if you end up losing that max risk, you have to force yourself to call it for the day, because in that situation, you cannot risk going green to red on the day, right? So one good trade or 2 small wins in a row, right? You should be good enough in a sense to either just call it for the day or risk 25 to 50% of your overall gains. With that being said, we absolutely crushed it, man. So in terms of the daily chart pattern, let's get right into it. As you can see right here, if you look at the daily chart, we have a red candlestick facing to the downside, and then we have a red candlestick facing to the upside. So I went back throughout the history of the daily chart to see how the SPY normally reacts when it forms this pattern. So this is going to help me identify new key levels, and then the 10-day, 30-minute chart is going to help as well, right? So in terms of what I'm seeing with this overall pattern, right? We have this, red daily candlestick facing to the downside, and then we have this red daily candlestick facing to the upside. In terms of the most similar pattern that I'm seeing in a sense, it is currently this one. This is what I wanted to break down to you, right? So if you take a look at the daily chart right here, you're going to see a red daily candlestick, a red daily candlestick, a green daily candlestick, a green daily candlestick, a red daily candlestick. So you have that red, green, red pattern. And SPY has a big gap down. SPY has a big gap down, right? So very similar in a sense. And then if you look at what happens in that situation, you have this candlestick facing to the downside, candlestick facing to the downside. Then you have this candlestick facing to the upside, candlestick facing to the upside, right? So in terms of a strong level of interest, looking back throughout this daily chart pattern, this is going to be the true make or break level. You see how the SPY topped out right around here towards the upper part of this candle right here the next day, then it sold off hard. So this is going to be your true make or break level heading into tomorrow, man. It's going to be this new lower high that has been forming on the SPY. You can see right here, the SPY had some support at 573. It cracked, then it forms new lower highs at 573, and then it cracked. Then you can see we got new lower highs right here at 571, which was that previous closing price, right? So if the SPY is maintaining below 571.50, 572, but ideally like 571.50 to 571, is going to be bearish. It's going to be very bearish at that overall zone. So based off of what I'm seeing on this daily chart, if the SPY is just opening up flat, or if we're gapping down, it's going to be overall bearish. If we're maintaining below 571.50, it's going to be overall bearish. In terms of another level that I'm seeing on these daily chart patterns, Another level to keep an eye on is 572.50 is make or break. So based off the daily chart pattern, as long as we are not having a massive gap up, it can potentially top towards 571, if not towards the previous day high, which is going to be 572.50, right? So you could just see in terms of many situations, we have this red candlestick facing to the downside, red candlestick facing to the upside. The high of day was towards the previous day high and the low was towards the previous day lows. So another key level to watch for is going to be the previous day lows, which is aligned with this gap where the SPY had the gap reversal at 568, a phenomenal level where I told you to buy call options and there was a 30-minute pattern and I did end up buying those calls at the exact lows on the first overall trade, right? And then you could see in terms of another situation, you have the red candlestick facing to the downside, and then you have the candlestick facing to the upside. And the next day it tops out towards the previous day highs, bottoms towards the previous day lows, right? So I'm seeing multiple patterns. The one that looks the most similar is this one. So I'm going to keep a close eye on that one, right? But that's mainly what I'm seeing, man. I'm seeing situations where we can top towards the previous day highs. And I'm also seeing a situation where that 571 is truly going to be make or break. Now, in terms of all this overall pattern, you can see right here, daily candlestick facing to the downside, daily candlestick facing to the upside. So another thing I'm seeing is if the SPY is gapping up, it's going to start to run a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So if the SPY is gapping up, it's going to try to spike back towards 572.50. And if we do break above 572.50 and react to support, we will be heading back towards this 574.50, and that's where it will likely start to drop in that situation. So in terms of more bullish in a potential break above that 572, that's only mainly if we are gapping up just based off the daily chart pattern. Again, we're not trading solely based off this daily chart pattern, just bringing awareness to it because it's going to help provide key levels and confirmations if you know how to trade the overall patterns, right? You can see in terms of this situation, you have this red candlestick facing to the downside, candlestick facing to the upside. Next day it gaps up, ends up having a very strong move, right? So in terms of the main bullish scenario based off the daily chart pattern, if we are gapping up, it's going to try to hit 572.50, previous day high, which is make or break. And if we break above that, 574.50, and then that would be the new put zone. So if we are gapping up, be very careful on buying puts. If we are gapping up, that is the main play where I would just be focused on buying calls and use the breakout and retest. So if we're having a nice gap up, look for situations to be buying those call options, to be buying the dips, right? So in terms of like overall levels, 571, if we're gapping up and we're breaking above this 570.50 to 571, wait for it to drop back down. Previous resistance reacts to support, the break and retest, 30-minute bullish candlestick patterns, buy the dip. So in that situation, I don't think it's going to be a crazy bullish day if it gaps up. So you're going to have to be very patient, wait for the right opportunities, wait for the right times, and use that breakout and retest strategy and focus on buying the dips, not the rips. Look for oversold dip buying opportunities throughout the day, right? So in terms of calls, man, it's mainly just if we're gapping up based off of what I'm seeing right now. Now you can keep an eye on the previous day lows, but that's it. So like I said, man, if we're gapping down, if we're opening up flat, or if we're just maintaining below 571.50 and we're not really gapping up, it's going to try to be overall bearish. And the only level of interest for calls would be, you can keep an eye on previous day lows. But I'm telling you, man, look, we can potentially bounce at previous day lows if the SPY is flipping bearish. But if we go under that and react bearish and we're maintaining under 571.50, we could drop to 565 and it could bounce there first. And then the next level below that would be 561.60, right? So if we're not really gapping up and we're just reacting bearish towards that 571, that 561.50 would be that best level to buy calls and even potentially swing trade calls. I would be very interested in swing trading calls on SPY if we can drop to that 561.50, man. So the overall game plan is very, very short, very, very simple, very, very sweet. If we're opening up flat or if we're gapping down, keep an eye on put options towards 571 to 572.50. That's the main play. So if we're gapping up, opening up flat, you know what to do in terms of the puts, right? In that situation on calls, keep an eye on previous day lows, 567.70, but be careful. Keep an eye on 565. It's likely going to bounce there first. But the best level for calls, if we're opening up flat or gapping down, is 561.30. And then, like I said, if we are gapping up above 569.80, reacting overall bullish, it's going to be difficult to play calls, but it's going to try to be overall bullish. So in terms of the levels for puts, Keep an eye on 572.50, but the best level for puts would be 574.50. If you're going to play puts on a gap up, wait throughout the day. Use very strong bearish 30-minute candlestick patterns. It's not going to be easy. It's going to try to have a nice overall move. In terms of the play for calls, it would be buying the dips towards 570 to 571. If we are gapping up, look for breakout and retest. That is the overall game plan that I'm seeing, right? Now, in terms of the 10-day 30-minute chart, I just wanted to bring awareness to this in terms of a current pattern that I'm seeing. You can see right here, this is very similar. It has this like slanted move to the upside, slanted move to the upside, crashing back down, crashing back down. The next day it ends up gapping up. The next day ends up gapping up. And then it just has a slanted downtrend to fill the gap. Once it fills the gap, it starts to have a reversal throughout the day, closing strong at the highs. So just be aware of that overall pattern. If we are topping out towards previous day lows, the SPY can potentially shift and begin to have a reversal, right? So just keep an eye on that overall pattern. But those are the main things that I wanted to point out, and those are the main things that I'm overall seeing, right? And then in terms of just quickly breaking down the chart for you heading into tomorrow, right? So in terms of the chart, 574.50 would be like your best level for puts if the SPY is gapping up. So right around here. Next level below that is going to be 572.50. Make or break. So if we are gapping up, use a very strong confirmation if you're going to try puts at the lower level. If we're opening up flat or if we're gapping down, 572.50 is a great level for put options, right? And then another good level for put options, if we're opening up flat or gapping down, is going to be 571. And then below that, we're going to have the previous day lows. Below 571, it's actually the previous closing price. So below 571 is going to be 569.81. Nothing too special about this level. It's kind of like a crunch zone. You can see right here, 560, 80.60 to 567.80 overall support. And then you can see right here, 569.80 overall resistance, new lower highs, breaks above, forms those new lower highs, tries to drop back down, tries to form new lower highs. Just an overall crunch zone. So level below 571 is 569.80. Level below that is 569.80. And then in terms of those levels for calls, previous day lows, keep an eye on calls for 567.80. Use a very strong 30-minute bullish confirmation. 565 is a great level for calls. And the true best level for calls is 561.50. That's the overall game plan. Now, in terms of the trades, let's get into this, man. So look at this, man. Who the fuck do you know is printing like us at the speed of light, man? Look at this, man. I'm going to show you these trades. This is truly incredible, man. Look at the results that we ended up having, right? So inside of Team Roar, like I said, we have a real-time zero-date options trade alert system. I'm not going to be breaking down on how everything works. You have to join the program to experience this for yourself. If you've been watching the videos start to finish, you should have an idea. But with that being said, man, we ended up buying Tesla puts for 86 cents, 215, and 569 SPY puts for 80 cents, right? The reason why we don't write the expiration is because all we do is zero dates, right? And in terms of stocks, we won't even write the expiration on a stock because we just go with the closest expiration. So if we do a stock play, like Tesla before Friday when it's zero dates, we don't need to write the expiration because we're always going with the closest expiration if it's not a zero date, right? And we're always doing zero dates. But for stocks, it's just the closest expiration. Now, with that being said, unless it's like Fridays in that situation. So Tesla 215 puts, 86 cents, 569 SPY puts for 80 cents a contract. With that being said, in terms of those overall trades, look at this, man. Tesla, 93 cents, SPY puts up 52 cents, SPY's at 155 cents. Setting the profit stops. You're always going to want to set those profit stops to ensure that you don't go green to red, man. I've seen too many members when they're up like 30%, they don't set a profit stop. And if they just hold it, the trade goes red and then they sell for a loss and they just keep on holding the loss. It's like, dude, do not do that. Set the profit stops, sell the moves, move the profit stop higher to ensure that you don't get back the bulk of your overall gains. So starting off the morning, that's 2 for 2, man. We're absolutely fucking crushing it. Now, with that being said, 573 SPY calls for 53 cents a contract, right? So at 9:51 a.m. And then as you guys know, we like to add to the winners, adding into the winners, right? And then in terms of that trade, quickly went to 74 cents. That's 3 for 3 within just 40 minutes trading. And you would think with all the fucking winning there that we'd be stopping, right? No, because we just keep on winning. That's what we do. When you have a real-time zero-date options trade alert system, you can just print money at the speed of fucking light during the market open session, during the middle of the day, during power hour trading session. When you actually know how to trade, you can trade all fucking day if you want to. So in terms of the 574 SPY calls, We ended up getting these at 36 cents a contract. This is the fourth overall trade on the day. And these ended up quickly going to 48 cents a contract. And like we tell you all the time, man, when you're up like 20% plus, set the profit stop. Green to red is a choice if you set the profit stops, right? So with that being said, in terms of the next overall trade, 570 SPY puts for 54 cents a contract. This overall trade ended up going to 186 cents a contract. And when we were in those puts, I called out the price target. I literally called out the price target towards the exact lows. I called out the price target. It was fucking perfect, man. Everybody should have been on those puts. That was a fairly obvious setup in a sense. Now, in terms of the next trade, this is where I came in. So after we took this trade on puts, GWOR called it out. It was fucking phenomenal, man. These SPY puts from 54 cents to 186 cents. I was waiting to buy calls after I exited the puts. With that being said, this was the first trade that I ended up making on the day. So I'm going to break this down and then I'm going to go over, man, Uncle Tio's trades. Uncle Tio and 2 for 2 on the day. He's been on a winning streak, I think, for over a month now. He's been fucking crushing it. But in terms of this trade, man, I ended up buying these SPY calls, man. So with that being said, let me break this down here for you, man. I'm going to walk you through in terms of what I was seeing on this trade. So in terms of this trade, this was fucking phenomenal. And you could tell I was very confident in this one. So let's see. 570 calls. When we exited puts, we switched to calls. And I ended up getting into 570 SPY calls at 55 cents. I ended up adding multiple times. So when we're adding to these winners, it's going to increase our gains like fucking crazy. And like I said, when we quickly add to wins, the winning tends to go in our favor and it tends to be a massive percentage gain. So in a sense, we could risk a little bit more than our max risk per trade in that particular sense. And the profit stop is really going to secure our new average cost, right? So the massive wins truly come not just from the percentages, but also adding to the winners, right? So I kept on adding to these fucking calls. Added at 60 cents, added at 60 cents. Like I said, man, just with this one win alone, not even factoring in all the previous wins we had before this, I was able to have multiple losses during the power hour trading session because I'm not going to go green to red. That's a fucking choice, man. If you have one good trade or 2 small wins in a row, you should not be going green to red. Risk half of your gains at the absolute most. If you have a small account, you're going to have to risk more. And if you just can't risk more, then don't trade anymore throughout the day, right? Small account is more about percentage compounded gains. It's not about making money if you have a small account. It's more about growing your account compounded percentage gain, right? But with this, you could actually make money with a small account. But when you're starting out, it's more focused on compounding the account percentage wise. And then when you have a medium sized to larger account, then it's more focused on the dollar gains and not compounding the account as much and actually withdrawing the gains. Small account is more focused on an educational journey along with compounding their account percentage wise. Once you have a bigger bankroll, you're more focused on taking the dollar gains out and not compounding the account percentage wise, right? So with that being said, I kept on adding to all these fucking wins. And why did I buy these calls, man? So why did I buy these 570 SPY calls? If we take a look at the chart, right, you're going to see there's a gap. So SPY, if you've been studying the 30-day, 30-minute chart, it's been reversing at every single fucking gap. So I've been telling you, man, just look for scalps at the gaps. And it had a nice little reversal here at the 571 gap. It went to 572.50, so it worked in a sense. It partially even reversed right here at 569.30. But in terms of the pattern that I was seeing, man, we have this gap to fill below at 568.67. This was one of my key levels to buy calls along with that 571 gap. Now, with that being said, the main play that I was seeing on this, man, I talk about this pattern all the time. So look at this, man. I'm looking at the 10-day, 30-minute chart. Now look at this pattern, man. This is one of the reasons. So the stack was you had a gap. It's been reversing at the gaps. If it's reversing at this higher gap, why the fuck is it not going to reverse at the oversold gap? It should reverse even better, right? Now, in terms of the chart, look at this chart. You see this candlestick right here, and you see how this move happens at the previous closing price. Look at these 2 candles, and then look at these 2 candles. So I think we can all agree that that looks identical, right? In terms of some differences, you know, bigger move, bigger volatility, bigger price action. But then take a look at this. This is at the same fucking price, and it's the same measured move. This is one of the reasons why we're so fucking confident on puts, man. Because if you just looked at that overall comparison right here, this was dead fucking obvious to buy puts, man. We had an hour of resistance at these lower highs at 572.50. We had this bearish overall move right here. This is a bearish overall pattern. Study this overall pattern. these 3 candles, you could even say 4 is very bearish, to retest this wick. That play on puts was so obvious. And if you looked at the measured move, it literally went from 571 all the way down to 568.50 in 30 minutes. So for those of you who are like, oh man, I should have held that trade longer, look at the measured move. The measured move is going to help give you a sense on, man, if you just hold this for 30 minutes, you can experience a massive move and the candle literally closed weak at the lows, right? So if you look at these 2 candles, in these 2 candles, nearly identical. If you look at these 2 candles, nearly identical, right? So what happens next 30 minutes? Next 30 minutes is strong green and bullish. What happens next 30 minutes? Next 30 minutes is strong green and bullish. Buy call options towards the previous 30-minute low. And that's why I was so confident on calls using the gap reversal strategy with the daily chart pattern. Along with, I talk about this pattern all the time, 3 slanted red. 3 slanted red candles, it's extremely oversold, gap reversal. The gap reversal strategy worked once again, man. Do you understand? We were literally buying call options as soon as we were exiting puts, as soon as this 30-minute candlestick was closing red and bearish, like 3 minutes before, we were buying call options and scaling into the wins on this massive move to the upside. We were literally adding, man. It was such a phenomenal fucking play, man. And you can just tell I was extremely confident on those calls, man. And we fucking killed it. We had members selling for over 100% return on those calls that we bought at the exact lows. I think the low of day on them was like 45 cents. So that play, those of you, I'm going to be very honest with you, man. If you've been watching my content for over a month, watching every single video from start to finish, I talk about the 3 slanted red. I talk about the 10-day, 30-minute patterns. You know, I talk about this pattern all the time. Red candlestick facing to the downside, red candlestick facing to the upside. And if you just looked at the 10-day, 30-minute chart, same pattern right here, same pattern right here. It happened twice, green bullish 30-minute, green bullish 30-minute. And we spoke about the gap at 560, at 568.60, gap reversal, right? In the 3 slanted red pattern, it's like, dude, if you combined everything it is that I taught you, I don't understand. Like, if you're self-sufficient, you understand what it is that I'm teaching you, you should have been in on call options as soon as this 30-minute candlestick closed red. You should have said 3 slanted red pattern. You should have said red to the downside, red to the upside. You should have said, oh, it repeated right here recently, and then it went fucking crazy, going to 572.50, right? Oh, it repeated right here recently, and then the next 30 minutes was very fucking bullish, right? You should have been in on call options right here at 12 p.m., scaling into the dips. Once it flips bullish, scaling into the overall rips, man. That was such a fucking easy play to buy calls at 12 p.m. Everybody should have been on that fucking play, man. And then if you looked at the 1-minute chart, V-shape recovery. You have a V-shaped recovery right here. You have a breakout, higher support, add to fucking calls, sell the fucking rips. It's like, dude, if you've been following the stuff that I've been teaching you, everyone should have been in on call options at 568, man. That was the best play that I had in terms of my own personal trading for the day. And then, like I said, man, I did have a little losing streak during the power hour session. I did have 2 losses on calls. But in terms of my account size and all the wins we had before, losing was a personal choice, right? Like I said, if your account is small enough where you can't even trade like 1 contract after and you're flipping red and you already had a good trade on the day, or if you had 2 small wins in a row, then just call it, man. When you have a small account, it's not about trying to push it to the limits and trying to make as many trades you possibly can. It's more about just compounding a percentage, trading the best setups at the best possible prices. So that was a trade on calls that everyone should have been on if you watched my overall channel, man. We absolutely crushed it on that overall play. I ended up selling at 82 cents, making like a quick 50% profit return on that. Like I said, a lot of people held that one because it just made sense to hold that one. So we had, just with all of that alone, I think that's like 5 or 6 wins in a row. Uncle Tio called out a 300% play before that, man. So like I said, man, losing is a personal choice when you have all these fucking wins in a row. You're going to see, if you've been studying all my fucking trades, like literally every single day I've been trading, I'll have like 2 wins in a row usually. And then I'll start to have, if I keep going, I'll have like a loss or 2. It's been this short-term trend with me. But like I said, if you're having all these wins and all these wins in a row, losing is a personal choice. Manage your risk accordingly. Don't just keep on going at it. Manage your risk. Right? I don't want to see you guys flipping green to red. It doesn't make sense. With all the big wins and with all the wins in rows, it doesn't make sense. Even if we have a couple L's, throughout the same day, it doesn't make sense. I could see if the next day all we have is L's, then it makes sense. But if we have a bunch of wins in a row and then there's like 2 losses, it doesn't make sense to flip green to red. Manage your risk accordingly. Take the trades. I'm telling you, like all the starters, it's like winning. All the starter trades we take at first, it's just nonstop fucking winning over here. So this fucking play, man, He's been crushing it. We got Uncle Tio, Master Tio, Keaton Win, Forbes 30 under 30, man. This guy has been on a tear throughout the past month, man. All he does is fucking win, man. So with that being said, he fucking crushed it, man. Look at this. A 334% return on these 570 puts, man. He was holding with ease throughout the entire day, man. A 334% profit return on that. That means if you put $100 into this trade, you would have racked up in total $434 back, man. Now, with that being said, in terms of this trade, man, you can see everything we do. This is all alerted real time at 10:08 a.m. to buy 570 puts, man. So Batman in this situation was overall bearish, 570 puts at 63 cents, and ended up cutting those for over a 300% profit return. And he did end up alerting a second trade after that, which was phenomenal, man. The second trade that he ended up taking, as you can see right here, all alerted in real time, SPX calls. He got these SPX 5730 calls at 170. As soon as he got in, they went up 30%. That's SPX for you, man. If you're trading SPX towards that power hour trading session, there will be times where you make 20, 30, 50% within a minute, man. It's crazy, man. When I first experienced that, following one of G-Roar's trades, it's fucking crazy, man. I remember G-Roar was on this crazy fucking winning streak with puts at some point. And whenever I did these SPX puts, I'll never forget, as soon as I would take the trade, it would just be like fucking comical. It was like fucking free coupons, just free money. Because as soon as I got in on the fucking trade, within less than a minute, they went up 50 fucking percent. Like, it was just truly fucking comical to see how fucking fast they went up. And when they go up that fucking quickly, they tend to just keep on fucking going up if you hold it, but you don't want to get back 50%. So you want to set a profit stop at like 30% and then just hope it doesn't drop back down. Because, it could be a trade where it goes up 1,000%, but you don't want to lose 50%, right? And you can leave runners and stuff like that too. It gets more advanced. I'm not going to be going into everything. So this fucking trade was phenomenal. SPX calls 91%. He's 2 for 2 on the day, right? So they fucking crushed it, man. They've been on a fucking tear. G-Roar came back with fucking vengeance. Uncle Tio, Keaton Win, he's just been winning nonstop. In terms of my recent short-term trend, I've been having like 2 wins in a row. And then if I keep on going, I'll have like 2 losses in a row. But it happens in the same day, so losing is a personal choice. If it were split, or I have 2 wins, and then the next day I have 2 losses, if it were split, then losing wouldn't be a choice. But in terms of this recent trend I've been having, I've just been winning in the beginning, and then when I trade later on, I'll have like a loss or 2. But I make sure that I manage my risk accordingly. And if your account is that small where you can't do that and you're going to flip green to red, then just stop, man. So typically, we're just going to have nonstop wins in a row. And then if we have a loss, it is what it is, man. We manage our risk accordingly. As professional traders, we do like to push our abilities to, the highest we can possibly do so. But then we do have to think of our members as well, right? So just something to keep in mind. Now, with that being said, in terms of, that's everything that we did today, man. This was fucking crazy. Look, I'm going to cut it here. If you're serious about making money, if you're serious about surrounding yourself with 2 multimillionaires within the chat who are learning everything it is that they're doing in real time, their real-time trade alerts, their real-time analysis, man, I'm telling you, we have a phenomenal group. We have a phenomenal community. There's nothing like this fucking group, man. Look, in terms of the testimonials throughout the past week, I've seen many people in this group, right? They've made thousands of dollars. One guy, he's made over 50K in the past month. Another guy made over 17K in the past month. I've seen it. It's all in the group chat. I've seen it. People are saying this is the real fucking deal. Finally, a real program that alerts trades in real time that is actually good at what they're doing and winning. So we have 3 fucking people in this group. Me, Uncle Tio, Keaton Win, G-Roar. We got 3 fucking people, man. We got Keaton Win, Forbes 30 under 30. We got me. We got fucking G-Roar, anonymous multimillionaire. We got every fucking one in this fucking group, man. So I'm telling you, man, if you want to surround yourself with people who've mastered 0-to-8 options trading, it's in this group, man. I'm telling you. I've seen it. We're getting many testimonials. I'm seeing many people doing extremely well, man. And I'm telling you, there's just nothing like this group, man. We've truly mastered 0-to-8 options trading. You are not going to find another group out there who's mastered it to this tier that we're on. It's the first link down below in the description if you want to gain access to it. We're known for buying cheap, far out of the money option contracts that are extremely low risk. We're known for selling them deep in the money, making the biggest percentage gains within the overall market. With that being said, cutting edge part of our system is we can put in our entire max risk per trade as our entire position size. Meaning, if the contracts go to 0, the most we lose is our max risk per trade, which is our position size. Therefore, we do not need a stop loss. So if we're down 50% on a play, we can decide if we want to ride that dead play and see if it goes in the money and hold it throughout the day. And in my experience, 70% of the time when we're down 50% on a play, it goes in the money. So some situations we sell the move for a loss. Other situations we hold. We hold the trade. We're doing it completely differently. We're holding for massive wins. We're buying something that is cheap, that is very fucking low risk. We have so many fucking wins in a row. We keep on questioning everybody. We're like, dude, how the fuck could anybody go red after he just gave out a 334% call out? It's not making sense. If you make a 300% return, you can take 3 more trades after that, lose 100% on each trade, and still be green on the overall day. You'd still be up 34% if you're sizing in accordingly, man. And when we're losing, I'm telling you, like, if we cut a loss, maybe we'll cut at 50%. And then sometimes we just let it go to 0. But it's rare. We have the highest win rate in the game doing this, man. And we add to winners. We set profit stops. We don't use stop losses. We sell moves sometimes. Sometimes we hold for the bigger overall win. We set profit stops to ensure that green to red is impossible. If we are green on a trade and we're up like 20%, 30%, set the profit stop, add to the winners. The reason why we add to wins is to increase the winning. When we're up a small amount, 5, 10, 20%, we like to add to wins quickly, protect the new average cost by setting the profit stop. And then in that situation, it's just so fucking simple, man. Sell the moves, set the profit stops, leave runners. If you do the math, the percentage gains will always outweigh the percentage losses, which means you can be very successful with a low win rate. But since we're actually good at this trading style, at this trading system, which is not gambling, you can get good at any style of trading. You can get good at in the money options. You can get good at out of the money options. You can get good at buying penny stocks. You can get good at trading shares. You can get good at futures. You can get good at anything. We just chose to get good at the absolute fucking best, to get good at the absolute fucking best thing there is to get fucking good at. 98% of traders who trade far the money options lose money. This is the fucking best system because this is the cheapest, lowest risk barrier to entries. It's amazing for small account, and rich people prefer to fucking do this because they say, dude, I could put small amounts of money with my big ass fucking account and I could sit here and make 100% profit returns all fucking day like it's fun fucking coupons, like it's fun fucking money. Do you understand? There's rich people that do this. They'll just put in 20K like it's fucking nothing and run up 60K in 30 fucking minutes. It's real. I see it. It's happening, man. It's happening, man. So with that being said, it's the first link down below in the description if you want to get access to this unique trading alert system that we have, man. We are doing the complete opposite of what everybody else is doing within the market. We've mastered price action. We've mastered charts. What asset do we want to trade? We could trade shares. We could trade in the money options. We've chose to go with the hardest one to master, far the money option contracts, which is also the best for small accounts. And it's just the best for trading in general, man, because look, everyone is a trader, wants to have a system where they could be successful with a low win rate, where they can make unlimited percentage gains, buying something that's cheap, and they can get good at it, having a high win rate doing it, right? So you can master anything in trading. Don't let people tell you that this is gambling or anything like that. No, this is a trading style. You can get good at anything. You master the charts, you master price action. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to buy shares, you're going to buy options. You're going to buy in the money options, you're going to pay more, use stop losses, make small percentage gains, or you're going to be the best. You're going to buy fucking far the money option contracts, hold fucking longer, no fucking stop losses, put in smaller amounts of money, make bigger percentage gains, outweigh their dollar gains, let those percentage gains do the work for you. It's like, dude, we're risking less money than everyone else, right? We don't even need a stop loss. The risk is so fucking low. It's our max risk per trade is our entire position size. And the percentage gains outweigh everything. The percentage gains are so fucking massive that we're going to be able to make more dollars than other people who are sizing in big on in the money option contracts, dude, because we're holding our trades and we're selling in the money for the biggest percentage gains, right? So I just wanted to explain that to you, man. This is a real trading style that people have mastered. This is not gambling. You can use anything as a tool to gamble if you want to fucking gamble. This is trading. This is not fucking gambling. You master the charts, you master price action, you decide what you want to do. You could trade fucking futures, you could trade shares, you could trade in the money, you could trade out of the money. All the rich people prefer to do this because they say, okay, trading is about creating a system where I could be successful with a low win rate. From there, I'm going to get better and increase my win rate. So you set up a strong foundation. You're building a house, you have the strongest foundation. A strong foundation means you could be successful with a low win rate. A strong foundation means you don't need a stop loss because your entire position size is your max risk per trade. Therefore, you have a cutting edge system because you no longer have a stop loss. And also, we're setting profit stops and we're adding to fucking winners. And our entire position size is our max risk per trade. You know, people are like, how the fuck is that possible? Your entire position size is your max risk per trade. That's a small amount of money. You must not be making much money. I'm like, dude, even if you have a small account, you could do well. You want to know why? Because it's all about the percentage gains. People who don't teach you the percentage gains, they won't teach you this because they're not making percentage gains. How the fuck is someone supposed to know about big percentage gains if they never make big percentage gains? You can put in small amounts of money and outperform everyone else, dollar and percentage wise, as long as you're having big percentage gains. And with this cutting edge system, you do not need a high win rate to be successful. So like I said, with what we've done, this is truly disruptive. This is the highest tier of trading to master. Anybody can master charts. Anybody can master price action. But when it comes down to applying it to something, borrow the money option contracts, you're going to have to time it very fucking well. You need good timing. You need skills in terms of knowing all the times. You need skills in terms of holding your trades for longer periods of time. Main reasons why people are not successful trading far the money option contracts is they don't know how to time their trades. They don't know how to trade far the money option contracts, and they use stop losses. Those are the main reasons, man. If you use stop losses on a far out of the money option contract, you're basically guaranteeing that you're going to fucking lose. Do you know how many trades we've been down like 20, 30, 40%? And it just comes back to life and goes into money? 70% of the time in this fucking group, it goes into money. So if we're down 50% on a fucking play, we make a call if we're going to sell the fucking move, right? See how it reacts at a level. If we don't like the reaction, maybe we sell the move, right? And then use that money on the next play. Or if it makes sense for us to hold that play, 70% of the time we decide to hold the play and not sell the move for a loss, it goes in the money and it comes back to life 70% of the time, man. And the win rate is above 85 fucking percent. So like I said, man, if you just do the math, high win rate, big percentage gains, it's going to outweigh the losses. And we don't need a high overall win rate, man. I'm telling you, options give you options. Far out the money options give you the most amount of options, right? There's a lot of different things you could do with day trading options, but I'm telling you, far out of the money option contracts give you the most amount of options, man. It's truly fucking game changing what you can do on SPX, making these insane fucking percentage returns in such a quick period of fucking time. It's very low risk. So with that being said, it's the first link down below in the description if you want to join us. I'm going to be signing off. We will continue to absolutely crush it. I'm telling you, this week is going to be a huge week, right? With the election, with everything that's going on, with the market volatility, with the levels we're at. We're currently at some oversold levels. With everything that's going on, this is going to be a serious money-making week. This is the best time to join, man. Uncle Tio, Keaton Win, he's on absolute fire. G-Roar, he's been on absolute vengeance these past 2 days. Me, my first 2 trades tend to be wins throughout the past like 2 months. So just going green to red is literally a fucking choice in that situation. Literally every single trade that I've been calling out, like the first 1 or 2, is just wins, man. So like I said, don't let any losses later on throughout the day make you flip green to red. Manage your risk accordingly. It's so fucking simple. If we have 7 fucking wins in a row, and then on the same day, we have 3 losses in a row collectively, you should still be green. Manage your risk accordingly. You don't have to take every single trade. You choose on what trades you want to take. You know, you can take this as Confluence, where you know how to trade, and you're going to use us as a confirmation in that sense. You're also going to learn how to trade alongside with us by trading with us, by seeing the real-time entries of our overall trades. If you're serious about joining us, it's the first link down below within the description if you would like to join our secured private organization and gain access to all of our real-time trades in the real-time 0-day options trading alert system.